The movie follows the story of a young girl named Rebecca. She visits her grandfather near the coast. A stranger to the town, Rebecca spends all her time alone. One day, during a rainstorm, Rebecca meets a boy named Thomas who introduces himself as Tommy. Tommy instantly leaves a lasting memory in Rebecca's heart, and she looks forward to seeing him again. The very next day, Tommy calls her outside to play. They quickly became good friends, spending all their time together. However, their brief connection shatters abruptly. One day, while playing with Tommy, Rebecca reveals she must leave for Tokyo with her mother and may never return. Devastated but accepting the reality, Tommy tells Rebecca he will see her off tomorrow with something special. He then kisses her goodbye. The next morning, Rebecca waits in vain as Tommy fails to keep his promise. Heartbroken, she leaves the shore with longing. 12 years later, Rebecca returns to her late grandfather's abandoned house. Eager to find her childhood friend, she goes straight to Tommy's place. There, Rebecca finds a young woman sprawled casually across Tommy's bed, deeply engrossed in a book. Rebecca gets startled when a man suddenly appears behind her, asking who she is looking for. Rebecca tells him that she is looking for Thomas. The man introduces himself as Thomas, and Rebecca immediately calls him by his nickname, Tommy. Tommy instantly remembers her. Their reunion is interrupted by a young woman who introduces herself as Rose and asks Tommy about Rebecca. However, Rebecca and Tommy are so deeply engrossed in each other that they do not hear her. Feeling awkward, Rose realizes she is invisible to them and leaves quietly. Rebecca and Tommy converse briefly, and then she leaves. Early the next morning, Tommy approaches Rebecca. Rebecca grabs her old bicycle and rides with Tommy to the beach to reminisce. Rebecca asks Tommy about his girlfriend. Tommy clarifies that Rose has no relationship with him. Relieved to hear this, the heavy tension vanishes, and Rebecca rejoices. During dinner, Rebecca confronts Tommy about the morning he failed to see her off. Tommy confesses that he overslept. To prove he never forgot her, he shows her a small snail that they used to play with in childhood. Tommy explains that he had wanted to give it to her that morning, but never got the chance. Hearing this, Rebecca's hormones spike through the roof, and instead of having dinner, she has Tommy. Later, Rebecca inquires about his life. Tommy explains that he is a biology student and an environmental activist fighting against a massive corporation. He adds that the company plans to open a new natural park populated by animals artificially created by cloning. Tommy says he plans to travel there and sabotage the company's inauguration ceremony by unleashing live cockroaches to cause panic. Rebecca likes the idea and requests to join him on the trip. The next day, Tommy sees off his family and hits the road to the wellness center. On the way, Rebecca asks Tommy to stop the car for a quick restroom break. Tommy pulls the car over to the roadside, and Rebecca steps out. She walks a few steps into the bushes when she hears a violent car crash. Rebecca turns around and finds out that Tommy has met with a severe accident. The shock of witnessing Tommy's brutal death completely shatters Rebecca. She blames herself for the accident. Isolating herself, she surrounds her life with his belongings, obsessively watching old videos and photos of him. Among them, she discovers a folded note he wrote as a child, a promise that he would always wait for her to return. Rebecca calls Tommy's parents over for dinner and brings up the idea of cloning. She mentions she wants to give birth to Tommy's clone, and for that, she needs his DNA. Tommy's mother is horrified by the idea of exhuming her son's grave and rejects the unnatural plan. His father, however, reluctantly agrees to help her. Tommy's father gives the DNA sample, though he warns Rebecca to weigh the psychological consequences of this choice. Undeterred, Rebecca goes to the hospital to begin the experimental procedure. Unbeknownst to her, Rose notices Rebecca from afar and figures out her plan. Over the next 9 months, Rebecca agonizes over her lost love to be reborn. She constantly visits the beach where they used to ride their bicycles. She visits Tommy's grave, obsessively waiting for him to return to her. Finally, the wait ends. Rebecca gives birth to a baby boy and names him Tommy. She spends his early childhood years nursing and holding him all day and during the walks on the beach. Soon, the young clone reaches the exact age when the real Tommy first met Rebecca. He looks identical to the original child. As time passes, Rebecca experiences a psychological change. She loves Tommy, but not in a way a mother should love her son. Tommy notices his mother's odd behavior, but he says nothing. One afternoon, Tommy and his friend Eric meet a girl who is a clone. Rebecca joins them and notices something off with the girl. She invites the girl to her home, but the girl refuses and leaves. After she leaves, Tommy mentions to Rebecca that she is not truly human and repeats a rumor that clones emit a strange odor from their skin. Shortly after, the town mothers invite Rebecca to a gathering. They tell Rebecca to stay away from the clone girl. Rebecca agrees, but deep down she fears that Tommy's secret will be uncovered. Her fears soon become a reality. Just before Mother's Day, Rose meets the neighborhood mothers and reveals that Tommy is actually a clone. Unaware, Rebecca and Tommy excitedly prepare the house for the Mother's Day party. But on the party night, no guests arrive. Panicked, Rebecca calls the mothers, but they refuse the invitation by making weird excuses. Rebecca realizes her secret is out in town and bursts into tears. To protect her illusion, she diverts Tommy's attention by revealing that his father died in a car accident before she gave birth to him. This way, Tommy believes that being an orphan explains his loneliness. Rebecca then leaves the beach house and moves to a new home near a different seashore. A decade passes, shaping Tommy into a young man. Completely unaware of his true origin, he naturally develops a deep love for biology and the ocean, just like the original Tommy. One afternoon, Tommy brings his girlfriend, Monica, to the beach house. He introduces her to Rebecca and announces that Monica plans to move in with them. The next morning, Tommy rests beside Monica as Rebecca serves them breakfast. He notices the tension in his mother's demeanor, but chooses to ignore it. Thrilled by his first real romance, Tommy completely wraps his life around Monica. At the same time, he notices his mother isolating herself. Whenever he and Monica bring her meals, Rebecca refuses, saying she is too exhausted to eat. Half asleep in the quiet morning, Tommy feels the mattress dipping beside him. Assuming it is Monica, he instinctively reaches out to hold her. Suddenly, a sickening dread jolts him fully awake as his eyes open to find Rebecca lying in his bed. Panicked, Tommy leaves the room. One afternoon, Tommy notices an unfamiliar older woman standing on the beach. She stares at him with strange intensity. Tommy also feels an unexplainable sense of familiarity. He asks who she is, but the woman only stares at him in silence. Without a single word, she turns and walks away. Confused, Tommy asks Rebecca for answers. Instead of explaining, Rebecca's eyes fill with tears. She ignores his question and retreats into the house. Tommy's confusion twists into agitation. He locks himself in the bathroom for hours, isolating himself entirely. At lunch, the suffocating tension finally breaks, and Tommy completely loses control. He slams his fists onto the table, furiously shouting about his deep familiarity with the older woman. Blinded by rage, he pours all the salt over the table and Monica. He violently kicks his chair backward and leaves the house. Horrified by his explosive mental collapse, Monica breaks up with him. He returns home at night, completely drained by a mix of confusion, anger, and sadness. He goes to his mother's room, lying beside her to seek comfort in her presence as she soothes him. Seeing his deep pain, Rebecca finally makes up her mind to tell him the truth. She opens an old laptop and shows him photographs and videos of a boy with his exact face. Deeply confused, Tommy asks why he has no memory of these photos and videos. Rebecca finally confesses that he is a clone of the original Tommy, her dead lover. Hearing this, Tommy finally understands the truth of his existence. All of a sudden, everything makes sense. From his playmates abandoning his party to the older woman's familiar stare, a burst of emotions consumes him, and he abruptly grabs Rebecca. He pushes her onto the bed. Tommy takes comfort in Rebecca's presence, but not in the way she imagined. After all these years, Rebecca gets her wish fulfilled as they share a deeply intimate moment. By evening, reality settles in. Tommy packs his belongings and stands before Rebecca for the last time. He calls her Rebecca instead of Mom and tells her he has forgiven her. Thanking her for giving him life anew, he departs. The movie ends as Tommy disappears into the wilderness of the endless world, leaving Rebecca behind.
Thank you all for your support. If you want to watch more content like this, like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments section, and I will see you next time. Stay curious.